and welcome to our news programme. It's Saturday the 28th of January and it's just past 6 o'clock. And in the news this week, good news, Dorset Police have told us that you'll remember they've been trying to find the identity of a gentleman found wandering in Weymouth. And they put out several appeals, including appeals that we put out on this programme. Well, it's really pleased to be able to update you that the identity of this gentleman has now been established. The man was found wandering in Weymouth near the seafront on Wednesday the 28th of September last year. Following public appeals, a member of the public has been able to supply information about his identity, and it turns out that he's a 40-year-old man from Latvia. Dorset Police would like to thank everyone who shared the appeal and contacted them with information. So, there we go. Now, a member of Weymouth and Portland Lions Club is going on a trip of a lifetime. Lion Kevin Brooks from Weymouth and Portland Lions Club will be embarking on the 1,200-mile, 5-day drive of his life at the end of the month in aid of war-torn Ukraine. On the 2nd of February 2023, he will be joining a convoy of 10 vans organised by a group of dedicated volunteers in Cornwall and Devon called Sending Love to Ukraine. And with other volunteers from Lions clubs from the southwest, he will help to deliver humanitarian aid to Ukraine via Poland. This will be his first trip, but it will be the 9th for the organisation. Their contacts in the Polish humanitarian army mean the aid donated goes straight to those who need it in Ukraine. The priority for this convoy is essential medical supplies that the hospitals and refugees are in desperate need for, together with many everyday items which we all take for granted, such as toothpaste, toothbrushes, soap, shower gel, nappies, and that sort of thing. If you want to donate any of those items, a more comprehensive list can be found on the Weymouth Lions Club Facebook page. So just go into Facebook and search for Weymouth Lions Club. However, the trip and the transport that takes the supplies to Poland is costly. So Kevin needs your help. The cost of diesel, ferry and accommodation en route all need to be covered. Every little help and any donations left over from this trip will go towards the cost of another van for the next trip in March. Now, you can help by going to the GoFundMe page, and it's if you go to GoFundMe, so gofund.me, and you look for page 2307119B, you will be able to make a donation, or you can send a cheque made payable to Weymouth and Portland Lions, and just write on the back of it is for the Ukrainian humanitarian visit, and you can send that to 5 Sussex Road, Weymouth, Dorset, DT4 0PL. Now, yesterday was Holocaust Memorial Day. And that's held annually on the 27th of January to remember the millions of people who died during the Holocaust under the Nazi persecution and in the genocides that followed in Cambodia, Rwanda, Bosnia and Darfur. The date marks the anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp, where more than 1 million people died during the Second World War. To commemorate it this year, Dorset Town Council and the South West Dorset Multicultural Network and Dorset Council organised a free public event which took place yesterday at the Corn Exchange in Dorchester. The event involved speakers and music as well as presentations from several local schools. The theme for this service and all of the Holocaust Memorial things this year was Ordinary People, which explored how ordinary people became involved in the Holocaust and other genocides as perpetrators, victims, bystanders, witnesses and rescuers. The event concluded with the lighting of candles and a minute's silence. Councillor Val Pothecary, chairman of Dorset Council, commenting on yesterday's event, said Holocaust Memorial Day provides a stark reminder of all those who suffered and died because of their religious beliefs or cultural differences. We must never underestimate the potential of man's inhumanity to man and the need to ensure that intolerance is replaced with wisdom and compassion. Now, in Weymouth, a memorial service attended by the Mayor, Councillor Anne Weavering, was held in Radipole Gardens, and you can see a picture of that on screen now. And also, as part of this year's Holocaust Memorial Day, memorial book displays are in libraries across Dorset, including Dorchester Library and Learning Centre and Portland Library as well. Now, officers from Dorset Police have got some appeals for us this week. They're appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward after a vehicle was stolen in Weymouth. At approximately 3:30 a.m. on Thursday the 26th of January, a blue BMW that was parked in Weymouth Bay Avenue was stolen. Police Constable Daniel Pigeon of Dorset Police said, "I would like to ask anyone who may have seen any suspicious activity in the area between 8 p.m. on Wednesday the 25th and 4 a.m. on Thursday the 26th of January to please come forward." Obviously keen to hear from anyone who has CCTV or any relevant footage similar. Officers are also appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward following an attempted robbery in Weymouth. The incident occurred at around 9:30 p.m. on Friday the 20th of January, as the victim, a local man aged in his 40s, was on Chickle Road near to Alf's Fish and Chip Shop. It is reported that the victim saw a group of 5 or 6 people in the area. He was punched by one of the group to the side of his head, causing him to off balance and to fall to the floor. Nothing was stolen during the incident. Police Constable Karam Manda of Weymouth Police said, "I'm appealing for anyone who witnessed what happened or may have captured anything relevant on their dash cam or CCTV footage to get in touch." And he understands that a woman in a hatchback vehicle stopped to help the victim following the incident and is very keen to speak to her, as she may have vital information to help with their inquiries. And finally, a last one from Dorset Police on appeals tonight. Officers are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward as they investigate a burglary at a store in Dorchester. Dorset Police received a report that around 2:10 a.m. on Monday the 23rd of January of a break-in at the One Stop store in Kings Road. It was reported that 3 men had forced entry to the store but left the premises following the activation of the alarm system. It is not believed anything was taken at this stage. Police Constable Maddie Barber of Dorset Police said, "We are carrying out inquiries on this burglary and I'd like to hear from anyone who witnessed any suspicious activity in the area during the early hours of Monday the 23rd of January. Now, if you've got any information on any of those events, any CCTV footage, dashcam footage, etc., then obviously Dorset Police would like to hear from you, and you can contact them by calling 101, or if you wish to give information anonymously, you can do this via the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. Now, still sticking with crime, but this time solved by detectives from members of the community. When Emma Ells, proprietor of the Caddy Shack Cafe at the bottom of Monmouth Avenue in Weymouth, had a giant display ice cream cone stolen one night last summer, despite having CCTV footage of the thief walking off the site, Emma thought she would never see it again, and that's the cafe there on the screen. Emma posted on Facebook hoping that someone would recognise the culprit. However, there was no response, and Emma thought it had gone for good and it would cost her somewhere in the region of £200 to replace it. Then Honey the Golden Retriever and Sheba the Labrador and owner Idris Martin came to the rescue. They were taking their daily walk in Lodmore Country Park and came across the giant cone in the undergrowth when the dogs ran off to give chase to a rabbit that they had seen. Idris said, "I called the dogs to no avail, so I followed them into the brambles, and lo and behold, I came upon what we as kids would have called a den, with armchairs, a table, supermarket trolley, and the missing cone. So I loaded the cone into the trolley and wheeled it back to the Caddy Shack, where I reunited it with Emma and her missing cone, and she was pretty grateful for it." Well done to Honey and Sheba and Idris for returning that to the Shack Cafe there. Now, a former Weymouth resident was found guilty of fly tipping offences last week. Following a report from a member of the public and subsequent investigation by Dorset Council officers, Daniel James Ellis, 39, formerly of Weymouth but now in Leicester, pleaded guilty to dumping waste at Gould's Hill in Weymouth on or about the 27th of February 2022. Mr. Ellis had fly-tipped household waste consisting of black bin bags, cardboard packaging and a helium gas canister with a tube attached, used for pumping up balloons. The waste was discovered by a member of the public who photographed the waste using a mobile phone and reported it to Dorset Council. Enforcement team officers investigated the rubbish and discovered evidence linking it to a local resident linking it to a local resident who had paid Mr. Ellis £20 to dispose of it at a local household recycling centre. When Mr. Ellis was traced by the enforcement team, he admitted he dumped the waste and accepted full responsibility. On the 21st of March, a fixed penalty notice was issued to Mr Ellis for the fly tipping offence to discharge his liability to conviction. However, no payment was received despite reminders being sent. This left the council with little option but to prosecute Mr Ellis, who initially failed to attend court, leading to a warrant for his arrest being issued. Officers then learned of his move to Leicester, where he was arrested and pleaded guilty. Mr Ellis was convicted of depositing household waste on land at Goulds Hill, Weymouth, without an environmental permit. He was sentenced at Leicester Magistrates Court on Tuesday the 17th of January to time served, having spent 24 hours in custody, and was ordered to pay £520 in costs and £29 in compensation. So the message is there: if you fly tip your waste, you will get caught eventually, and it will be costly for you. Now, a former member of Dorset police staff has been sentenced to 2 years in prison for theft of cash from the force. The sentencing of Lisa Arnold, 52, took place at Bournemouth Crown Court on Wednesday this week. She had previously pleaded guilty to the offence on Wednesday the 7th of December at Weymouth Magistrates Court. Concerns were first raised in June 2020, with the force's counter-corruption unit reporting that an exhibit bag containing cash had been tampered with. Subsequently, further incidents were identified involving exhibit bags containing cash that had not been counted yet for evidential reasons. The completion of proactive audits of a property store revealed further tampered items. An investigation was undertaken by the Counter-Corruption Unit to identify the individual involved, including financial checks and the inspection of access records to the relevant store areas. This led to Lisa Arnold being identified as the suspect. She was arrested in March 2022, and a search of her home address led to £15,000 in cash being seized. Following the arrest, Arnold was immediately suspended from work and formally resigned from Dorset Police in May 2022. Dorset Police Deputy Chief Constable Sam Derea said, "I hope that this investigation demonstrates that we will robustly investigate suspected wrongdoing by members of our organisation and undertake swift action. Our officers and members of staff are expected to execute their duties with integrity. On this occasion, a staff member has fallen short of those standards and been found guilty of a criminal offence. We will pursue and deal with those who seek to undermine the trust that is placed in us by the public and let us down, and colleagues and the police service." Just a week after work started on the road by Morrison's in Weymouth, it has been necessary to make urgent changes to ease large queues and delays. Temporary traffic lights have now been adjusted to reduce waiting times, and more signage has been added to warn drivers of the ongoing roadworks at the Mercery Road, Dorset Road junction. The works are scheduled to last a total of 8 weeks and affect very busy roads that connect the new Weymouth Gateway site, which has various shops, fast food outlets, as well as Sainsbury's and the ambulance station. There have been very long tailbacks since the work started, affecting businesses as well as road users that use that route in and out of Weymouth. As a result, action has now been taken. Members of Dorset Council's construction team and highways team met with representatives of the contracting company at the scene on Tuesday this week to discuss what could be done to ease congestion in the area. Dorset Council have commented, "We visited the site and we have made some changes to the traffic lights to shorten the wait time for all users. Boards warning of possible delays have been placed along Dorset Road and the Link Road, and we will erect more if needed. An operative from our traffic management company will control the signals at peak times, and we will continue to monitor traffic over the next weeks and make further changes to improve flow if required. We encourage drivers to plan ahead and think carefully about their journeys during the works, and thank everyone for their patience." The refurbished works include new traffic signal heads, poles and controllers, a new controlled pedestrian crossing on Dorset Road, a new toucan crossing on Mercery Road, and a new cycle lane on Mercery Road, which will narrow the road with a left-hand filter lane on Mercery Road being removed, as well as the installation of a pedestrian crossing at the traffic lights. It is aimed that the works should be completed, if all goes to plan, by Monday, March the 13th. So an area to avoid. I did go to that area twice this week and took an alternative route when I saw how far those queues were back down the Dorset Road. In fact, they were right the way back down to St John's Church at one stage when I went that way. Now, 2 further days of rail strikes will take place next week on Wednesday the 1st and Friday the 3rd of February, and rail operators at GWR and South Western Rails are reminding those looking to travel to check their journeys beforehand. The ASLEF union, which represents train drivers, is taking action that will affect rail services on the 2 strike days, and a revised timetable will operate across several train operators, including GWR, on the strike days of the 1st and 3rd, and only a reduced service will operate on a limited number of main routes. Many parts of the GWR network will have no service at all, and on South Western Railways, the Island line on the Isle of Wight is particularly affected, but they do hope to run services near normal on their other routes. GWR have said a limited service is starting later and finishing earlier between 7:30 and in the morning and 7:30 in the evening will run only on some main routes between main towns or cities. And unlike previous strikes, they hope that the days in between the strikes and immediately after the strikes will be largely unaffected. And GWR expects to be able to operate a full level service with some very minor alterations. Now, residents are being urged to give their views on affordable housing, employment and protecting green spaces before Weymouth Town Council survey closes this Tuesday, the 31st of January. The results will be used to help draw up Weymouth's neighbourhood plan, which would become a key policy document to make decisions about future planning decisions in the area over the next 17 years. Councillor David Northern, chair of the Neighbourhood Plan Steering Group, which is tasked with working with residents to draft the plan, said, "As Weymouth continues to grow, people have a golden opportunity to help shape its future, including what sort of development and where it should be, protecting our green spaces and improving cycle routes. This is about creating a neighbourhood plan that reflects the rich history, heritage and character of Weymouth going forward, but also ensures it feels owned by the residents. It will affect everyone who lives or works in the town, which is why it's vital that people have their say on it now. It will help us to produce a plan that best reflects the views of Weymouth's various communities, and so I would urge residents to complete the online survey as soon as possible and urge friends, colleagues and family members to have a say so as well." The survey is open until 5 o'clock on Tuesday the 31st of January, and the results will be analysed and fed into the draft neighbourhood plan document. This will be published later in 2023 for formal consultation. Now, as well as the online survey, which you can access via the Weymouth Town Council website on their news page, and you'll see in the news release the hyperlinks that you can click on to get to the survey, paper copies are available at libraries in Weymouth and at the Weymouth Information Shop. And if you want more information on the neighbourhood plan and the supporting documents, they are all on the Weymouth Town Council website. Now, finally, in our headlines tonight, back to the railways. Did you know it's National Puzzle Day tomorrow, the 29th of January? I didn't know we had a National Puzzle Day until I picked up on this, but there you go, National Puzzle Day tomorrow. And did you know the first jigsaw puzzle was made by map maker John Spilsbury in 1767? So they've been around a long time. And the most popular year ever for puzzles was 1933, where an amazing 10 million puzzles a week were sold. Now, railway operator GWR has released a new puzzle just in time for National Puzzle Day, and it's giving you the chance to win one. Great Western Railways is celebrating National Puzzle Day by giving its followers a chance to win one of its new special edition jigsaws, celebrating Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee. 4 of the new 1,000-piece puzzles, which feature the Intercity Express train named after the Queen in 2017, will be up for grabs from Sunday the 29th of January as prizes in GWR's National Puzzle Day competition. Puzzle-loving followers on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram and TikTok will have to identify the unit number of the train featured in the puzzle and tag a friend in their post to be up for a chance to win one of the highly coveted prizes. The competition runs from 7 o'clock tomorrow, Sunday the 29th of January, to 1 minute before midnight on Sunday the 5th of February. Originating in 2002, National Puzzle Day recognises the benefits of puzzling for mental well-being. From jigsaws to crosswords, puzzles have been proven to support vocabulary, problem-solving and mathematical skills, as well as improving memory. They are versatile in bringing people together, as well as being enjoyable as a solitary pursuit either at home or while travelling on the train, say GWR. So, National Puzzle Day tomorrow. Time for you to get your puzzles out, whether it's a crossword or it's a jigsaw puzzle. And if you fancy having a go in that competition, look out for GWR's social media, identify the train, tag a friend, and you could win one of their puzzles, as you can see on the screen. There we go. So that's the end of our headlines tonight. Now, did you know this weekend the RSPB's Big Garden Birdwatch is here all weekend? Started yesterday and runs through until the end of tomorrow. So there's still time to sign up and take part. All you have to do is spend just 1 hour over the weekend counting the birds and help monitoring how the birds are faring. It's free, it's fun, and it's a great way to keep an eye on your local wildlife. Wherever you are, whatever you see, it counts. Now, the RSPB's Big Garden Birdwatch is the UK's biggest citizen science wildlife survey. Last year, over 700,000 people participated in this annual snapshot of how birds are faring in these challenging times. Now, also, if you are used to using YouTube, you can pop along to the RSPB's YouTube channel, where they have got live feed of garden birds throughout the weekend. Now, here's a little bit of a taster from the RSPB now for you.
Big Garden Birdwatch live.
It's all kicking off in the garden. I love the drama.
And oh, can we go to a live camp? Can we need to go to a live camp?
Ask us any of your questions. Get us on Facebook and Twitter and on YouTube.
Enjoy Big Garden Birdwatch weekend.
So we've had great tit, cold tit, blue tit.
It's blowing a gale here.
Time for another cup of tea?
Why not?
There we go, that's the Great Garden Bird Watch, and that's the live. So go along to the RSPB YouTube channel. You can also engage with them on Twitter and Facebook with live question and answer sessions. Now, to participate, all you have to do is count the birds you see in your garden, or if you haven't got a garden, from your balcony, or go and sit in the local park, it doesn't matter. The results can be submitted online or by post using a free post address, so it doesn't cost you anything. To find out more, including expert advice about birds in your garden, go to rspb.org.uk/birdwatch. There we go, that's the Great Garden Birdwatch this weekend. Now, we've mentioned the boat MV Freedom on this programme many times. Last year, the boat, which operates from Weymouth Harbour, took out approaching 2,000 people who otherwise would not have been able to experience the sea. The charity is run by a band of very enthusiastic trustees and fundraisers, as well as the skippers and crew who operate the boat throughout the season. As the organisation gets more and more popular and busier, it is in need of more people to operate the boat, so it's after skippers and crew. So if you might have the right experience, or if you'd just like to be a crew member, and the organisation does give all the training and obviously all the safety gear, etc., and you could give some time over the summer months, they would love to hear from you. So let's have a little taster to see a little bit about MV Freedom and the boat, and what you might be involved with if you choose to volunteer for them.
Without our boat, then folks in wheelchairs certainly wouldn't be able to get out on the sea at all, and that would be a pleasure and a change of scenery and enjoyment that they wouldn't be able to have without our boat. My name's Stuart Aldous. I'm chairman of the charity Friends of MV Freedom, which is there to provide access to the sea for people living with disability. The charity started in 1984 and it's been going 37 years now. Our boat operates from Weymouth Harbour and we have a berth in the North Quay. We take up to 15 persons at a time, and that includes 3 crew, so 12 passengers, and up to 6 persons in wheelchairs. We do 2 trips a day, and we go to Lulworth Cove, Portland Harbour, and anywhere in between.
I'm Rich, and I'm one of the berthing officers in Weymouth Harbour. We've had MV Freedom here, I believe it's from 1995. So over time we've kind of put a few things into place to help them and make their journey to getting people out in the water a lot easier. So down on the berth where they base, so down in North Quay, we've had new railings put down there to make assistance getting onto the area, as well as a nice easy access rolling ramp. We've positioned them on one of our L berths as well, so it makes it a lot easier to get wheelchairs on and off. We're also slowly improving the inner harbour over the next year or so. Hopefully that will all be facilitating and making it easier for everybody.
The passengers on our boat come from all parts of Weymouth, Portland and far beyond. They are living with disability, and that's our key phrase, but it's a broad phrase deliberately done so that the interpretation we can give to it in terms of who comes is at its widest, and that means we can include not just the folks that are disabled, but could be their carers or their relatives or their close family and so on. The main benefit is to get onto the sea because it's an experience all in itself, but it does have knock-on benefits, and it has the benefits of increasing their personal confidence, increasing friendships, communication. They talk to us, we get them involved in driving the boat.
I'm Karen, and I work in a local care home in Weymouth, and I've been out on the Freedom Boat with residents from that care home for 5-6 years, so it's quite a long time. So the passengers get so much out of the trips. There's people that have never been on a boat before, so that's a whole new experience for them. The long-term effects of it are brilliant because it's a domino effect, because once one person's been out, they're like, oh, did you go out? And then it's a conversation starter, and then others want to give it a go, and it's just seeing the enjoyment in their face. And it's something as simple as the smell of the sea, or looking for dolphins, or looking at Portland Harbour and knowing what certain things are and where things are from. It just brings back so many memories, and it's so good for them. It brings them back to life again. Being on the sea is definitely something I'd recommend.
As far as the harbour staff are concerned, they're invariably pleasant, helpful, practical, and we're in touch with them pretty much on a daily basis. They couldn't be better as far as we're concerned. The figures are now at their highest ever, and I see no reason why that won't continue. So it's a great demonstration of how much the trips are appreciated, the fact that people still want to come in greater numbers every year.
Us at Weymouth Harbour are really looking forward to working with MV Freedom into the future and being able to facilitate them getting in and around and out onto the water, because the ocean is a fantastic place to be, and the more people we can get out there in a safe environment so they can experience it is absolutely fantastic, and so we look forward to working with them into the future.
There we go, that's a video put together with footage provided by MV Freedom and Dorset Council, and was a very good demonstration of the sorts of things that you might be doing if you volunteered to help on MV Freedom. It's a wonderful modern boat. It's literally just a couple of years old, less than a couple of years old. It's very safe, it's got all the facilities, and so if you've got experience of being on the water and running a boat, and you feel that you could help skipper MV Freedom, they'd definitely like to hear from you. Or if you just like to volunteer as crew, helping them run the vessel and giving those trips to all the people that can benefit from them, they would love to hear from you. So how do you get in touch? Well, you can go along to their website at www.mvfreedom.co.uk, or you can email the Secretary of MV Freedom at secretary@mvfreedom.co.uk, and they'll be very pleased to hear from you. Okay, it's that time in the programme where we go over to our regular contributor Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to Wyke Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This week the nominations for the 95th Academy Awards were announced. For those who don't know, the Academy Awards, more commonly referred to as the Oscars, recognise what is considered to be the best that the worldwide film industry has to offer, despite the criticism from audiences in recent years in that more mainstream films are not represented, such as superhero films, instead focusing on more niche art house, biopic, politically correct films. This year's nominations are truly exciting, with breakout hits Everything Everywhere All at Once picking up 11 nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director and Best Original Screenplay, as well as 4 acting nominations, including Best Actress for Michelle Yeoh, Best Supporting Actor for Ke Huy Quan, and Best Supporting Actress for Jamie Lee Curtis. 2022's Avatar and Top Gun sequels also picked up Best Picture nominations, and Steven Spielberg picked up 3 top nominations for his semi-autobiographical film The Fabelmans. This year's awards also featured many recurring nominations from throughout the awards season, including Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Austin Butler for Elvis, Angela Bassett for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and The Banshees of Inisherin getting top nominations as well. This year's awards are also notable for major film composer John Williams becoming the oldest competitive nominee in history and receiving his 53rd nomination, making him the second most nominated individual in history behind Walt Disney. For this year's acting nominations, there are 16 first-time nominations, making this the most number of first-time nominees in Oscars history. This year's awards ceremony will take place on March 12th and will be hosted by late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel, after previously having presented the ceremony 3 times in the past. For more information and the full list of this year's nominations, they are available at oscars.org. This week, a smaller theatrical horror movie, Pray for the Devil, spelt E-Y rather than A-Y, was released on home video. The film revolves around a nun training to be the first female exorcist under the Roman Catholic Church amidst a rise in demonic possession worldwide. The film stars a collection of TV actors in the lead roles and was a small box office success, but was negatively received by critics. I will attempt to review it at some point. I've got the Blu-ray, it's on my list. Stay tuned. That is all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week, where I will have a review for the Disney Plus release of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, as I haven't seen it yet, and I'm given all the awards season hype surrounding Angela Bassett, I am excited to check it out. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much, Andrew, for this week's film review and preview. And now it's that time in the programme where we go over to the Met Office for the weekend weather forecast, and this week it is with Jonathan Vautry.
Hello there, hope you're having a good Saturday so far. There's been a reasonable amount of cloud to kick off the weekend. The lowest of this, with some hill fog, has been due to this cold front across Northern Ireland, southern Scotland into northern areas of England. It is, though, a fairly weak feature. If we remove it from the map, you can see it's only been associated with light and patchy outbreaks of rain. Apart from a few showers in the northwest and the far southeast, most of us have started off on a fairly dry note. There is also this slot through South Yorkshire, Nottinghamshire into Lincolnshire, where we've got some good sunny intervals. That will tend to infill with cloud throughout the afternoon, and certainly the southern half of the UK will remain fairly cloudy throughout Saturday. It's to the north of that cold front across Northern Ireland, parts of eastern England and northeast Scotland, where we'll see the best of those sunnier and brighter intervals. Temperatures holding up around 7-8 degrees for the vast majority of us, which is where we should be for the time of year, and winds will be fairly light across the board as well. Into this evening, though, we'll start to see the winds strengthen across the far northwest of Scotland. The band of patchy outbreaks of rain and drizzle pushing its way across Wales, central and southern areas of England. Well, we had some of those clearer intervals to begin across Northern Ireland, parts of Scotland and eastern England, maybe in the far south as well. We could see a patchy frost develop during the evening, but with the cloud coming and going and the breeze picking up as well, most towns and cities will hold up around low single figures. So it should be a frost-free start to Sunday for the vast majority of us. But we've got a cold front to watch out for that's going to be pushing its way into the northwest, and the squeeze around the isobars with this front could produce a fairly blustery day, particularly for the northern half of the UK. The strongest gusts, though, here shown by the pink colours, filtering around the western and northern Isles, bringing 50-mile-an-hour gusts. To start off Sunday then, that cold front will be across the far northwest, and it will gradually push its way into Scotland and Northern Ireland. It could be heavy at times as it does so. For England and Wales, will be a largely dry day, bar from those outbreaks of drizzle eventually clearing off the far south, but it's going to be another pretty cloudy one as well, with only the odd outbreak of sunshine to be had. Temperatures slightly up compared to Saturday, now more around 9, maybe 10 degrees across the far southwest, but actually 11, maybe 12 degrees across parts of Aberdeenshire, where we see those winds coming up from a southerly direction. Into the evening, that cold front is going to continue to push its way southwards, and behind that we'll see some clearer intervals, but also a barrage of showers beginning to push its way in for parts of Scotland. Again, continuing blustery winds. There could be some hail mixed in there as well. Snow falling to the likes of 400 metres or so over the higher ground areas. But remaining a fairly cloudy evening for parts of Wales and southern England as that front begins to continue southwards. Winds, though, are going to remain a feature as we move throughout the rest of the week, particularly across northern areas come the end of Tuesday. So do keep up to date with the forecast, and we'll have all the latest across all our social media channels, and we'll be back with you again shortly. Bye-bye.
There we go. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for the weekend weather forecast. And just looking at the weather for the Weymouth and South Dorset area, fairly stable this week, continuing to be reasonably dry other than the chance of rain tomorrow, and temperatures are not as cold as they have been, but sort of I guess rather regular winter clear weather. Some sunny spells, some cloud, mainly dry. Temperatures between sort of 5 and 10 degrees. So not too bad a week ahead, hopefully, particularly if you need to get some jobs done outside and you're starting to sort your gardens out or some of the DIY bits and pieces. Now it's time for What's On, and coming up there will be a harbour history stroll in Weymouth on the 8th of February from 10:30 to noon, led by Steve Wallace, who's the senior archaeologist from Dorset Council. If you want to go on that, you can book a ticket on Eventbrite. That's the event booking thing online. So you go to Eventbrite and search for Dorset History Walk Weymouth Harbour, and you should be able to find that and book places. And now, coming up at the Weymouth Pavilion, 3rd of February, the UK Rock Show. 8th of February, Shakespeare by the Sea Festival. 10th of February, Lionel the Musical of Lionel Richie. 16th of February, Spirit the Dance. 17th of February, Rave On, 50s and 60s Experience. Box office at weymouthpavilion.com or by telephone 01305 783 225. Moving to the Knowth Fort on half-term week, 11th to the 19th of February, it's World War II week. So lots of dressing up and lots of activities there, and assault courses and NAFI and all sorts of things for the family and children. Also on the 25th of February, Classified Bunker Cold War weekend. They're going to show the untold story of the Knowth Fort's Cold War bunker. They've done this before with an immersive guided tour. Springtoberfest is on the 11th of March, where they're going to have their take on Oktoberfest. So lots of things coming up there. And also Science Day on the 19th of March. So there we go, lots at the Knowth Fort. Also, the Men's Shed in Weymouth is calling for new members. It meets every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m, where they can conduct group and individual craft projects. If you're interested in joining them, contact number is 07710 893 837. And advance notice of a new Weymouth Cider Festival, which will be held on the 28th and 29th of April at Weymouth Pavilion. So there'll be more information on that nearer the time, but that's been announced this week. Turning to Arts Reach, just a reminder that tomorrow, Sunday the 29th of January, set menu, The Best of George Egg, which we've talked about on previous programme, is at Litcher Matravis Village Hall. Learning to Fly by James Rowland, which again we've also previewed, Thursday the 2nd at Broadoak Village Hall and Friday the 3rd at Piddle Hinton Memorial Hall. Also to let you know that She Karaoke, I don't know if I said that right, is an award-winning international band playing traditional music from the Balkans, Turkey and beyond, is at the Mowlam Theatre Swanage on Friday the 3rd of February and at Broadmain Village Hall on Saturday the 4th of February. Now, more information on all of those and tickets next week. Now, it's half term soon, and just to give you a taster of something that Arts Reach have got coming up over half term, this is called The King of Nothing for Monstro Theatre. It's a puppet musical inspired by the Hans Christian Andersen classic story. We'll see the trailer now, and we'll have more information on that next week.
Some folks run a restaurant, others they run shops.
Swindlers are extremely good at running
From the cops, a postman carries letters, a waiter carries trays.
We carry off your wallet while you look the other way. Oh, what'll I wear today? That's the only question on my mind, so I best get busy.
It was excellent. I liked it. The king was really funny. I liked it when they ran away. It was really good. I really liked it.
Creative, interesting, and exciting. It was so much fun. It was really brilliant, the whole thing. Everyone was transfixed. The kids loved it.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun.
There you go, that's the King of Nothing that's coming up over half-term week, and we will give you details of how to book that next week. If you want information in advance, just search for Arts Reach on the internet. You'll get to their website where you can book all of their events and obviously get access to all the information of all those wonderful things coming up across the whole of Dorset. And every week there are multiple events going on. It's a fantastic organisation, organising all sorts of different events throughout Dorset, so do have a look. Lots of different and exciting things going on. Okay, just the last thing on what's on. Church services in Wyke, Regis this weekend. 9:30 All Saints Church tomorrow and 11 o'clock at St Edmunds. There is no 8 o'clock service at All Saints Church tomorrow. And later this evening, our other programme is our quiz programme. That's on at 7:30. Streams going live about 7:20. Live quiz at 7:30. Everybody is welcome to join us on this and all our other channels. Turning to traffic and travel for the week ahead, roadworks that are likely to cause disruption over the week ahead are certainly that roadworks by Morrison's and the link into the new park. They're up by Sainsbury's. Those are going to go on for a few more weeks. Now, roadworks will start at the junction of Lanehouse Rocks Road and Fremantle Road at the bottom of Lanehouse in Weymouth on Monday, and they're going to run for 14 weeks. And there will be traffic control there. I think that's going to be causing major disruption as well. So if you can take an alternative route on your journey, that would be advisable. Also, roadworks likely to cause disruption on Buxton Road, Radipole Lane, Abbotsbury Road, Littlewell Road and Park Estate Road on Portland. Rail, we did mention the strikes earlier in the programme, so do check before travel. Also, there is an amended service between Weymouth and London Waterloo tomorrow. And now that brings us to the end of this week's programme. Don't forget, if you've got any events or groups running or doing any fundraising, anything you'd like to share with the local community across Wyke, Regis, Weymouth and Portland, or the wider South Dorset, do drop us an email at news@wykeregis.tv. We'll be pleased to receive it and we can look to share that with people. I hope the rest of your weekend is good. and I hope the week ahead is good for you, and I look forward to being back with you next Saturday at 6 o'clock. Good night.